Hello, Eco Warriors. Welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to discuss everything you need to know about global warming. Global warming is a burning and growing global issue. Watch till the end to understand the pain of our planet and how each one of us can be a first aid kit to this injury our Earth is facing. Let's start our video without any delay. This video is divided into several sections. You can pause the video to have rough insights into what we will be discussing later in this video. Let's start with understanding global warming. Global warming refers to the long-term increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to human activities, primarily the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. It is a major aspect of climate change, which also includes shifts in weather patterns and more frequent extreme events. Global warming is a phenomenon where heat gets trapped in the Earth's atmosphere due to the greenhouse effect. This effect is essential for maintaining a habitable climate, but human activities have intensified it by releasing excessive greenhouse gases. Global temperatures have increased by about 1.1 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees Fahrenheit, since the late 19th century, with most of the warming occurring in the past 50 years, soon after the commencement of the industrial era. Another topic we are going to discuss is trends. Global warming has shown clear trends over the years, primarily due to the rise in greenhouse gas emissions from human activities. These trends are evident in increasing global temperatures, melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and more frequent extreme weather events. Let's discuss different types of trends. First of all, let's begin with temperature trends 1. Long-term temperature rise. Global average surface temperatures have risen by about 1.1 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees Fahrenheit since the late 19th century. The past decade, 2011 to 2020, was the hottest on record, with 2020, 2019, and 2016 among the hottest individual years. The rate of warming has accelerated in recent decades, with average global temperatures increasing by 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade since the 1970s. Second, regional variations. Polar regions, particularly the Arctic, are warming at about 2 to 4 times faster than the global average. Land areas are warming faster than oceans due to differences in heat absorption and retention. Secondly, greenhouse gas trends. 1. Carbon dioxide CO2 levels. Pre-industrial CO2 levels were around 280 parts per million. As of 2023, atmospheric CO2 levels surpassed 420 parts per million, the highest in at least 800,000 years. Annual CO2 emissions have steadily increased, largely driven by fossil fuel combustion, deforestation, and industrial processes. 2. Methane, CH4, and nitrous oxide, N2O. Methane levels have more than doubled since pre-industrial times, primarily from agriculture, landfills, and fossil fuels. Nitrous oxide emissions, driven by fertilizers and industrial activities, have also increased significantly. Sea level rise is also a growing trend due to global warming. 1. Historical trends. Global sea levels have risen by about 20 to 25 centimeters since 1880. The rate of sea level rise has accelerated, now averaging about 3.4 millimeters per year, approximately 1.4 millimeters per year. 2. Drivers. Thermal expansion. As oceans warm, water expands. Melting ice. Polar ice caps and glaciers are contributing more to sea level rise over time. Ice melt and Arctic warming is another trend. 1. Glacier retreat. Most of the world's glaciers are shrinking, losing hundreds of billions of tons of ice annually. 2. Arctic sea ice. Arctic sea ice extent has declined by about 13% per decade since satellite records began in 1979. The Arctic is projected to experience ice-free summers by the mid-21st century if current trends continue. Ocean trends. 1. Warming oceans. Over 90% of the excess heat from global warming is absorbed by the oceans, leading to rising sea temperatures. This warming contributes to stronger hurricanes, changes in ocean currents, and coral bleaching. 2. Ocean acidification. The ocean absorbs about 30% of CO2 emissions, causing a drop in pH and harming marine ecosystems. At last, extreme weather trends 1. Increased frequency and intensity. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and severe, with record-breaking temperatures observed worldwide. Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones are stronger due to warmer ocean waters. Droughts and floods have become more intense, disrupting agriculture and water supplies. 2. Shifting patterns. Weather patterns are becoming more unpredictable, leading to longer droughts in some regions and heavier rainfall in others. Let's have a quick look towards future projections. 1. Temperature projections. If emissions continue unchecked, global temperatures could rise by 2.5 to 4.5 degrees Celsius or 4.5 to 8.1 degrees Fahrenheit by 2100. Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is critical to avoid the worst impacts, as per the Paris Agreement. 2. Sea level rise. By 2100, sea levels could rise by 0.3 to 1.2 meters, 1 to 4 feet, depending on emission scenarios. Third, extreme events. Heat waves, droughts, and storms are expected to become even more frequent and severe. Another section of global warming is evolution of global warming, from past to present and future. Global warming is not a recent phenomenon. It has evolved over centuries due to both natural and human-induced factors. Let's explore its historical background, the rapid acceleration in modern times, and projections for the future. 1. Early climate changes. Pre-industrial era, before 1750s. Earth's climate has changed naturally over millions of years due to volcanic eruptions, solar cycles, and variations in Earth's orbit, Milankovitch cycles. Ice ages and warm periods occurred due to natural CO2 fluctuations. Before industrialization, atmospheric CO2 levels remained stable at around 280 parts per million. 2. The Industrial Revolution, 1750 to 1900. The Industrial Revolution marked the beginning of large-scale burning of fossil fuels like coal and oil. CO2 levels started rising as factories, transportation, and deforestation increased. By 1900, CO2 levels had risen to 295 parts per million, causing a slow but steady warming trend. 3. The 20th century, 1900 to 2000. The acceleration begins. Early 1900s. Scientists began studying climate change, but didn't yet realize the full impact. 1950s to 1970s. Rapid industrialization after World War II led to a spike in emissions. Global temperatures began increasing more noticeably. 1980s to 1990s. The first clear evidence of global warming emerged. Ice caps started melting at alarming rates. Heat waves and extreme weather events increased. The Kyoto Protocol, 1997, was the first major global agreement to reduce emissions. By the year 2000, CO2 levels had surpassed 370 parts per million, and global temperatures had risen by about 0.5 degrees Celsius since the 1800s. The 21st century, 2000 to present. The climate crisis intensifies. 2000s to 2010s. Scientists confirmed human activities as the primary cause of climate change. The Arctic sea ice began shrinking at record levels. Wildfires, floods, and hurricanes became more frequent. CO2 levels crossed 400 parts per million in 2013, an all-time high in human history. 2015. The Paris Agreement was signed to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels. 2020 to present. The Earth has already warmed by 1.1 degrees Celsius since the 1800s. 2023 was recorded as one of the hottest years in history. CO2 levels reached 419 parts per million in 2023. If current trends continue, by 2030, the planet could exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius warming, leading to more extreme weather events. By 2050, Arctic summers may become ice-free. Major coastal cities like New York, Mumbai, and Jakarta could face severe flooding. Climate refugees may number in the hundreds of millions. By 2100, if no action is taken, temperatures could rise by 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, making parts of the Earth uninhabitable. However, with aggressive climate action, warming could be limited to 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. Now, let's move on to our another section of this video, which is impacts of global warming. Firstly, impacts on human life. Global warming is already affecting human life in multiple ways, from extreme weather to food shortages and health crises. If not controlled, it will continue to disrupt daily life, economies, and global stability. Here's how. 1. Extreme weather events. More heat waves. Rising temperatures are leading to prolonged and deadly heat waves. Stronger storms and hurricanes. Warmer oceans fuel more intense hurricanes, causing destruction. Frequent wildfires. Increased droughts and higher temperatures are triggering wildfires, destroying homes and forests. Heavy flooding. Melting glaciers and rising sea levels are causing coastal and inland floods, damaging infrastructure. 2. Food and water shortages. Lower crop yields. Rising temperatures reduce the productivity of major crops like wheat, rice, and corn. Droughts and desertification. Many fertile lands are turning into deserts, making agriculture impossible. Water scarcity. Glaciers, which provide fresh water to millions, are melting rapidly, reducing water availability. 3. Health issues. Heat-related illnesses. More people are suffering from heat strokes and dehydration. Respiratory diseases. Increased air pollution leads to asthma, bronchitis, and lung infections. Vector-borne diseases. Warmer temperatures allow mosquitoes to spread diseases like malaria and dengue to new areas. Mental health stress. Climate disasters cause trauma, anxiety, and depression, especially among vulnerable communities. 4. Economic consequences. Damage to infrastructure. Floods, hurricanes, and wildfires destroy homes, roads, and businesses, costing billions in repairs. Job losses. Industries like agriculture, fishing, and tourism are suffering, leading to unemployment. Higher living costs. Food and water prices are rising as resources become scarce. Increased insurance costs. More natural disasters mean higher insurance premiums for homes and businesses. 5. Climate refugees and displacement. Rising sea levels. Millions of people living in coastal cities, e.g. Miami, Jakarta, Dhaka, may be forced to relocate. Drought and famine. Lack of food and water is pushing people to migrate to other regions. Conflict and wars. Resource scarcity is increasing tensions and conflicts between communities and nations. Secondly, impacts on wildlife. Global warming is one of the biggest threats to wildlife, affecting ecosystems, food chains, and species survival. Rising temperatures, habitat destruction, and extreme weather are pushing many species toward extinction. 1. Habitat loss and destruction. Melting ice in the Arctic. Polar bears, walruses, and seals depend on sea ice to hunt and breed. As ice melts, they struggle to survive. Deforestation and wildfires. Rising temperatures cause droughts and wildfires, destroying forests that house countless species. Coral reef bleaching. Warmer ocean temperatures cause coral reefs to die, affecting marine species that depend on them. 2. Disruption of food chains. Mismatched seasons. Many species rely on seasonal changes for migration, breeding, or food availability. Rising temperatures are shifting these patterns, leading to starvation and population declines. Decline in prey species. Fish populations are shrinking due to warmer oceans, affecting predators like sharks, seabirds, and marine mammals. Invasive species. Expansion. Warmer climates allow pests and non-native species to spread, competing with native wildlife for food and space. 3. Increased extinction rates. Scientists estimate that 1 million species are at risk of extinction due to climate change. Some of the most threatened species include polar bear, losing hunting grounds due to ice melt. Snow leopard, habitat shrinking as temperatures rise. Pika, sensitive to heat, struggling to find cool habitats. Sea turtles. Warmer sand affects hatchlings' gender balance, leading to fewer males. 4. Ocean and freshwater impacts. Ocean acidification, increased sea. O2 is making oceans more acidic, harming shellfish, corals, and plankton. Rising water temperatures. Many fish species, including cod and salmon, are struggling to survive in warmer waters. Decreased oxygen levels. Warmer waters hold less oxygen, suffocating marine life. 5. Migration and behavioral changes. Birds and mammals. Many species are shifting their migration patterns, sometimes failing to find food or suitable climates. Early blooming and hibernation disruptions. Some animals wake from hibernation too early, leading to food shortages.
Since the video is going to be a bit longer, I will discuss the remaining portion in the next part of the video. Till then, take care, see you, goodbye. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.